Hello student, welcome to online tutorial session. In previous lecture session, we have discussed about the classification of a computer depending upon the size and capability of a computer. Okay, but in today's session, based on the working principle, how can we classify the computer, we need to know. Okay, so based on the working principle, computer can be classified in an analog computer and the digital one computer, and another one is also there, that is a hybrid computers. So let's first talk about the analog computers. Okay, so an analog computer is a form of computer that is use a particular physical property. What are those physical properties? Okay, it's like a electrical or mechanical characteristics device. Okay, so in an analog device, the continuous variation of a process is usually measured using a continuous variation in the physical quantity. What are those physical quantity? Like voltage, current, pressure, okay, etc. So subsequently, the calculation are done based on the measured value of a physical quantity, and the result or the output is generated in the form of another voltage or pressure signals. So the example of the analog computing devices includes the voltmeter, energy meter, speedometer of an automobile, and analog square root to extract, slide rules, etc. are the example of the analog computer. And now we will talk about the digital computers. Okay, so a digital device uses the discrete electrical voltage level to encode a real life situation or a process, such as a continuous process or a variables are encoded as a discrete state. Okay, so which are then expressed as a set of numbers. Okay, in general, the binary numbers are used to express these states. So for example, if the color of an object is purple, then color can be expressed as a combination of three 8-bit binary numbers representing primary color red. Red as 175, it means 1010111111. Green as 54, it means 00110110. So in this way, the physical properties like color, we can enumerable shades of quantized and expressed as a combination of a finite number. So this is how the modern day digital scanner or digital cameras works. Okay, so modern digital type of cameras, scanner, thermometers are actually modern computers are actually example of the digital computers over here. Now we will talk about the hybrid computers. Okay, so there is a third class of device which combines the features of both analog and the digital computer. Okay, so these are known as the hybrid computers. So hybrid computer usually use analog computer front end. Front end means whatever in a visible way. Okay, so the signal output from which then feed it into the digital computer for further computation. So the hybrid computer usually substantially faster than the digital computer, and but can supply a far more precise computation than the analog computer. So example, the body parameter monitoring in ICCU. The analog section of such as computer measure the patient vital signals like temperature, blood pressure, convert these to numbers and passes this number into the digital sections of the computer for actually the proper analysis of that. So now we will talk about the difference between analog computer and the digital computer, which is very important questions from here. Okay, so what are actually the difference between these two? That in case of analog computer, the computations are performed using a continuous variation of a physical properties. What are those properties? Like electrical resistance, voltage, frequency, and pressure. Okay, but in case of digital, the digital device uses discrete electrical voltage levels to encode a real life situation or a process. Like I have said that red is encoded at 10101111 in this way. Okay, now in analogous computer, calculations are normally done in real time, that is simultaneously making the processor very faster. Okay, in case of digital computers have relatively larger delays as the calculation is done in a sequential manner. Okay, so one after another it will do the processing, so that's why as it is done in the sequential manner, so it will the processing part, the timing is required, it is more compared to the analog devices. Okay, now the third point, the accuracy of analog computer is not very high. Okay, so the analog computers calculate by measuring, and net accuracy depend upon the accuracy of the individual internal component of the devices on the visual limitation and observation of the output. So if your the device that you are using, if any component are not appropriate, so it will not give you a appropriate value. If you are using a wrong one, a damaged voltmeter which is not giving the reading properly, so it will through the voltmeter what will we measure, it will not give you a correct output depending upon this. So what actually the device made up of, and suppose any visual thing is there, up to how many digit is there, you are able to visit, you are able to see this kind of a things is also included. That's why so accuracy level in case of analog computer is not so high. But in case of digital computers, since the different fixed voltage levels are used to represent binary numbers, the accuracy of the digital devices is very high and is rarely being affected by the accuracy of the individual component of the devices. Okay, so it actually whatever the components, real life component we are using, it is actually converted into the represented in the binary format. So it's a combination of zeros and ones. So that's why it is actually not depending upon the individual devices, what is made up of the particular device. It's not depending upon this. Okay. Now, in case of analogous computers can either be mechanical, electrical in nature, and made using the resistance, capacitance, etc. Okay, but in case of digital computers are electronic in nature and made up of electronic components and computers, it's not components, like a transistor has been used over here. Okay, the computations in case of analogous computers are performed as a variation of a different physical quantity. Okay, but in case of digital computer, computations are performed using the binary numbers and the binary arithmetic is followed over here. Okay, so the example of such analogous computer is that energy meter, speedometer of a car, square root extractor, or slide rulers. Okay, and in case of digital computer, includes a modern days computer, digital camera, scanner, thermometer, clock, etc. So I hope, depending upon the working principle, how many ways we can classify the computer, it is clear to you. Thank you, student. I am ending my lecture over here.